person.
Izgrađuju se u unutrašnjem čovjeka.
They start to be less concerned about themselves.
Postaju sve manje zabrinuti za sebe.
Because the Father is pouring his love and his word into them.
Zato jer Otac ulijeva njih svoju ljubav i brigu.
And now they become awakened to the world, the needs, and his vision for their life.
I oni postaju probuđeni za potrebe oko njih i stvari koje Bog želi učiniti u tuđim životima.
And that person can become a very fruitful and a very mature son in a very short period of time.
I takva osoba može postati vrlo plodonosna i zrela duhovna osoba u kratkom vremenskom periodu.
It has less to do with the passing of time and more to do with the interaction between the son and the father, or the daughter and the father.
Dakle, to ima manje veze sa određenim protekom vremena, a ima više veze sa odnosom oca i sina.
Because as we've seen, God, as a father, he expects obedience.
Možemo vidjeti Bog kao otac očekuje poslušnost.
We live in a world today that parents have a hard time expecting obedience from their children.
Živimo u vremenu kad roditelji imaju problema ako očekuju poslušnost od svoje djece.
It's a catastrophe.
To je katastrofa.
Just give the kids options and let them do what they want. And now the children are determining when they eat, when they go to bed, what they're going to watch on TV, and what they're going to do.
Djeca danas imaju puno opcija pred sobom i oni sad sami određuju kada će jest, što će jest, kada će gledati televiziju, kada će ići u krevet.
And because of the spirit that's in the world and the voices that are speaking, they're afraid to put boundaries on their child.
I ti roditelji zbog okoline duhovne u kojoj žive i zbog glasova koji čuju, zbog svega, se boje postaviti granice u životima svoje djece.
We are told a few things about this babe or this child here in Galatians chapter 4.
Rekli smo već par riječi o bebi ovdje u Galačanima.
That I think is important for us to see.
Ali nam je važno da to vidimo.
First of all, it says in verse 1 that as long as the heir is a child, a nipioi, he doesn't differ at all from a slave.
Prva stvar koju ovdje kaže je da dok je baštenik malodoban, ničim se ne razlikuje od roba.
Although he is the master or the owner of everything.
Iako je gospodar svega.
His identity is clear.
Njegov identitet je potpuno jasan.
He is the son of the king.
On je sin kralja.
He's actually the heir of everything.
On je nasljednik ili baštenik svega.
But right now, because of the stage in which he's in, he does not differ at all from a slave.
Ali zbog doba u kojem živi, ili faze u kojoj živi, se zapravo još ne razlikuje od roba.
And to get the picture, we have to go back to medieval Europe.
I da bi stekli bolju sliku, idemo se vratiti u srednjovjekovnu Europu.
When kings ruled in their castles.
Kad su kraljevi vladali u svojim zamcima.
Remember those fairy tales? Actually, the castles are actually quite cool.
Sjećate se onih priča sa zamkom.
And once upon a time, a king ruled his castle, and the land was his domain.
Jednom je bijaše kralj koji je vladao u svom dvorcu.
And those kings were despots. I mean, they were in control.
Oni su bili despoti, oni su voljeli imati sve pod kontrolom.
And they lived in their castles.
I živjeli su u svojim zamcima.
And on the palace grounds,
i u zamku, u dvorištu zamka,
they would have gardeners.
Imali su u vrtovima, imali su vrtlare.
Who took care of the grass and the garden.
Koji su se brinuli za travnjake i vrtove.
So imagine that the king has a boy.
I sad zamislite da je kralj imao dječaka.
And he's a nipioi.
I on je nipioi.
He's 20 to 24 months old.
Ima 20 do 24 mjeseca.
His son is running around on the palace grounds.
I on tamo trči po dvorištu.
Saying, Dada, Dada,
I viče,
Mama,
tata, mama.
Now, he doesn't yet know who he is.
Dakle, on još uvijek ne zna tko je on.
He is the only son of the king.
On je jedini kraljev sin.
And he is the heir of the whole kingdom.
I on je baštenik cijelog kraljevstva.
But when you were only 20 months of age,
ali kad imaš 20 mjeseci,
you have no idea who you are.
Nemaš pojma ko si zapravo.
Or what your inheritance is.
I šta si naslijedio?
There are many Christians in that condition.
Ima puno kršćana u tom stanju.
They don't know who they are.
ne znaju tko su
and what their inheritance is.
i što je njihova baština.
And God's intention as a father
I Božja namjera kao oca
is to so involve himself in their life to bring them from that stage and bring them through a process of maturity
je da se toliko uključi u njihov život, da ih provede kroz proces do
so
zrelosti.
that they become aware of who they are.
Da postanu svjesni ko su oni,
They know their identity.
da znaju svoj identitet
And they are aware of the resources that the Father has prepared for them
i da znaju što je to sve Otac pripremio za
so
njih
that they can put those resources to use
i da mogu sve te stvari koje Bog pripremio za njih staviti u pogon,
to undo the works of the devil
da mogu poništiti đavolska djela
and to be a manifestation of the kingdom as Jesus was in his own flesh.
i da postanu sami očitovanje Isusovog života u svom tijelu.
Imagine on the same site,
Zamislite na tom istom mjestu
there's a gardener
postoji vrtlar
who lives in a little hut
koji živi u maloj kolebici
in the corner of the palace grounds.
koji je negdje u ćošku dvorišta.
He also has a son,
On također ima sina,
the same age as the king's son.
iste dobi kao kraljevog sina.
And when you look at the two boys,
I kad pogledate oba sina,
it's hard to tell the one from the other than the clothes they're wearing.
teško ih je razlikovati osim možda po odjeći koju nose.
They're playing with mud and making mud pies.
Igraju se u blatu i rade kolače od blata.
They have a clay pot,
Imaju čupove glinene
yeah, for making their pies,
u kojima rade kolače od blata
and there's only one.
i ima samo jedan.
And what the two toddlers do when there's only one toy?
I što radi dojenčad kad postoji samo jedna igračka, a njih su dvojica?
It's mine.
To je moje.
No, it's not.
Ne, nije, to je moje. I'm mature.
And now they start to fight.
I svi počinju se svađati.
The king's son
Kralj sin
and the son of the gardener.
i sin vrtlara.
They're fighting over a clay pot
I bore se oko glinenog čupa.
because that's what babies do.
Jer je to ono što rade bebe.
They fight over all kinds of stupid things.
Bore se oko bilo kakve gluposti i svađaju.
They don't know what their inheritance is.
Oni ne znaju što je njihovo nasljeđe.
This little king's boy
Mali kraljev sin
could buy 100 million clay pots,
zapravo može kupiti 100 miliona glinenih čupova.
but he's totally oblivious to his inheritance
On je potpuno nesvjestan svog nasljeđa,
because he's still a baby or a toddler.
jer je on još uvijek vrlo malo.
Instead, he fights with the gardener's little boy to get possession of the one clay pot.
Umjesto toga on se svađa sa vrtlarovim sinom da dođe u posjed jednog glinenog čupa.
In the New Testament, babies are described as being carnal, worldly.
I u tom kontekstu su bebe opisane kao tjelesne, svjetovne.
They have natural appetites and natural reactions to circumstances.
Oni imaju prirodne reakcije i prirodne stavove prema okolini, prema
The
činjenicama.
Bible says they're no different from the world, and they react the same way as the world.
Oni reagiraju prema stvarima iz svijeta i reagiraju poput svijeta.
And it's hard to tell the difference from the babe of the king and the babe of the slave.
I teško je pronaći razliku između bebe od kralja i bebe od roba.
They react the same way because the king's babe doesn't know who he is,
I tako, to se događa zato jer kraljev sin ne zna tko je on zapravo.
even though potentially he's the owner of everything.
Iako je on potencijalno vlasnik svega.
And although the babe is the owner of everything,
Iako je beba vlasnik svega,
although the vast resources of God are available to that person,
i svi Božji resursi su mu na
they're
raspolaganju,
not seeking to live in that abundance.
ne traži živjeti u tom obilju.
And it simply remains a potential instead of a reality.
I još uvijek ostaje samo potencijal umjesto da postaje
Now
stvarnost.
hear me, I am fully aware that many things yet for me right now are a potential and not a reality.
Ja sam potpuno svjestan da je puno stvari za moj život još uvijek potencijal, a ne stvarnost.
How many of you would agree that right now we're all looking towards the potential of what we can be.
Koliko od vas bi se složilo sa mnom da još uvijek gledamo prema potencijalu onog što bismo tek mogli biti?
We're all looking towards the potential of what the church can be.
Da gledamo prema potencijalu onog što bi crkva mogla biti.
And God is saying to us, I'm your dad,
A Bog nam kaže, ja sam tvoj tata
and I love you.
i volim te.
And we're going to do amazing things together.
I učinit ćemo nevjerojatne stvari skupa.
Will you let me nurture you?
Hoćeš li mi dopustiti da te ja njegujem?
Will you let me discipline you?
Hoćeš li dopustiti da te ja discipliniram i učim?
Will you let me put the restrictions on you that are necessary in order to harness the potential that you represent?
Hoćeš mi dozvoliti da ti postavim neke ograničenja, neke granice, da bi tek mogao ispoljiti potencijal koji imaš?
Will you let me correct you when it's necessary?
Hoćeš mi dozvoliti da te ispravim kad je to potrebno?
Will you let me give you a spanking when it's necessary?
Hoćeš dozvoliti da te malo poguzi kad bude potrebno?
In order that I can bring out the potential that is already inside of you because I put it there.
Da ti pomognem da taj potencijal koji sam već stavio u tebe da izađe van.
Galatians chapter 4 verse 13 it says, so also we, when we were children, we were in slavery under the basic principles of the world. Verse 3, chapter 4 verse 3. Yeah?
Tako i mi kad smo bili malodobni, robovali smo prirodnim silama svijeta.
So listen to what's being said. When a person is spiritually a toddler, the same bondages that hold people in the world hold them as well.
I zapravo on kaže da iste sile dok smo bili mali, bebe, dojčad, iste sile koje su držale svijet zavezanima su držale i nas.
When I came to Christ, I had several challenges. One was anger.
Kad sam došao Kristu, imao sam nekoliko izazova pred sobom s kojima sam se suočio i trebao sam suočiti. Jedno je bilo srdžba.
Steve, angry?
Steve? Srdit?
He seems just so, But I had outbursts of anger.
Steve je tako, ali ja sam imao ispade srdžbe.
In most cases it happened during competition.
I najviše se to događalo u trenutkama kad je bilo nekog natjecanja.
Playing tennis, playing golf, or other things, I had rage.
Tenis, golf, ja bi se razbijesnio.
When the golf ball didn't go where it was supposed to,
Kad golf loptica ne bi otišla gdje bi trebalo otići,
my golf club flew.
moja palica bi letjela tamo.
I broke several golf clubs around trees.
Nekoliko palica sam omotao oko drveta.
My brother had the same problem.
Moj brat je imao istih problema.
He took it to a whole other level.
On je to podigao na jedan drugi nivo.
Because he took his entire bag of clubs and threw them in the water.
On je uzeo cijelu onu vreću sa palicama i bacio u vodu.
And I remember one day,
I sjeća se jednog
this
dana,
was maybe 18 months after my conversion.
to je bilo negdje 18 mjeseci nakon što se obratio.
I'm playing golf,
Igram golf
and I'm on hole number 2.
i na rupi broj 2.
I get up to the ball,
Stao sam kod lopte
and I'm about to hit it,
i taman sam ju trebao udariti.
and I hit the ball,
I udario sam
and the ball
lopticu,
goes that direction.
a lopta ode tamo.
And I've got the club here on my shoulder,
I ja imam palicu na ramenu
and I hear someone ask me a question.
i čujem nekog da mi postavlja pitanje.
See, because when I became a believer,
Jer kad sam postao vjernik,
I asked him if he would come into my life
ja sam ga zamolio da li bi on došao u moj život
and be my Lord.
i postao moj
In
gospodin.
other words, I want you to call the shots. You be in charge.
I rekao sam ti budi glavni.
And he took me seriously.
I on me ozbiljno shvatio.
Can you imagine that?
Možete to zamisliti?
When it says Lord, he means Lord.
Kad kaže gospodin, on misli
So
gospodin.
we give him the right to shape and mold our life so that the taste of our life is something that's pleasing to him, not to us.
Jer mi njemu dajemo pravo da oblikuje naš život tako da naš život postane njemu ugodnog mirisa.
And I hit that ball, and I was about to throw this
I
ball.
ja sam udario tu lopticu i taman sam htio baciti tu palicu
And he asked me this question.
i postavio mi ovo
And
pitanje.
he used my name, Steve.
I rekao je, Steve,
Is this game really that important to you?
Da li ti je ta igra tako važna?
Man, he's amazing.
On je zaista čudesan.
You know what? He never asked me not once to quit golf.
Znate, nikad me nije zatražio da prestanem igrati golf.
He asked me a question. Is that game really that important to you?
Postavio mi pitanje, da li ti ta igra toliko važna?
And I answered his question. I knew what the answer was.
I ja sam znao koji je odgovor.
I said, no, Lord.
Rekao sam, ne, Gospodine.
And the anger drained from me in a moment.
I taj crkva se samo izlila iz mene, iscijedila iz
And
mene.
it was the last club. I didn't throw that club. It was the last time I ever had the urge to throw a golf club.
I to je zadnji put, nisam bacio tu palicu i to je bilo zadnji put kad sam osjetio uopće potrebu da bacim
In
palicu.
fact, at that moment, the whole focus of my life changed.
I zapravo u tom trenutku se fokus mog života potpuno izmijenio.
My dream was to become a professional golfer.
Moj san je bio da postanem profesionalni golfer.
God had a different plan.
Bog je imao drugi plan.
And when I said, be my Lord,
I kad sam rekao postani moj gospodin,
he had something else in mind than what I had.
on je imao nešto drugo na umu nego što sam ja imao.
And so he starts moving my life and working in me to bring about his good pleasure.
I on je počeo od tada moj život usmjeravati u drugom smjeru, da postanem na njegovo zadovoljstvo.
And I would never have dreamed of going to Slovenia.
Tada nikad nisam bio zamišljao da ću doći u Sloveniju.
Where?
Je,
I certainly wouldn't be here tonight.
sigurno ne bi bio večeras ovdje.
And there's not a single day I regret following his will.
I nikad nisam niti u jednom trenutku zažalio što sam poslušao njegov poziv.
And I've seen some great things happen.
I vidim neke super stvari koje su se dogodile.
But I want to see a lot more happen.
Ali želim vidjeti puno više toga.
I know that there is a greater potential than what I am currently living in.
I znam da je postoji puno veći potencijal nego ono u čemu sad živim.
And we want to pursue that potential.
I mi želimo slijediti i ispuniti taj potencijal.
But when we are a babe,
Kad imamo bebu,
it says we're in bondage to the same things that people in the world. The same problems are our problems.
ta beba je zavezana u iste probleme kao i ljudi u ovom svijetu oko nas.
When I moved to Germany,
Kad sam odselio u Njemačku,
I had a trouble with pornography.
imao sam probleme s pornografijom.
I was living alone.
Živio sam sam.
Germany is an extremely pornographic culture.
Njemačka je vrlo pornografska kultura, ima pornografsku kulturu.
Turn the TV on, there it is.
Upališ televiziju, evo,
Sitting in my private room with nobody else.
sjedim sam u sobi,
It's tough.
bilo je teško.
So I said to a friend of mine,
I rekao sam svom prijatelju,
I said, I'm in trouble. I need some help.
ja u problemu sam, treba mi pomoć.
I'm watching these things that, and I know they're not right, they're not good.
Gledam te stvari
Can you help me?
i znam da to nije dobro. Molim te, možeš mi pomoći?
We prayed together,
Molili smo zajedno
and God broke that bondage.
i Bog je slomio to ropstvo.
Oftentimes the enemy builds his strongholds in secret.
Vrlo često neprijatelj gradi svoja utvrde u našem životu u tajnosti.
And then he reinforces them in our silence.
I onda ih ojačava u našoj šutnji.
When we break the silence,
I kad mi prekinemo šutnju,
God comes and he breaks the stronghold.
dolazi Bog i uništava utvrdu.
There's a power in God
Postoji sila u Bogu.
as we grow from spiritual toddlerhood into a mature son.
Kada rastemo iz duhovnog malodobništva prema duhovnom sinovstvu,
So that our life actually looks different than our neighbors.
tako da naš život zaista postaje vidljivo različit od života naših susjeda.
So that the quality of our marriage is different than the quality of our neighbors.
Da kvaliteta našeg braka različita od kvaliteta braka naših susjeda.
It doesn't make us better,
Nismo zbog toga bolji,
just different.
samo različiti.
And it's that difference. It's that difference that becomes the salt and the light that God has called us to be.
I ta razlika postaje sol i svjetlo onog u šta nas je Bog pozvao.
We're not better because of it, we're just different.
Nismo bolji zbog toga, samo smo različiti.
And God likes that difference.
I Bog voli tu različitost.
It doesn't cause us to become proud.
Ne čini nas da postanemo ponosni.
It doesn't call us then to judge the rest of the world around us.
Ne poziva nas da osuđujemo, ti si ovakav onakav.
Why? Because God says, you know what? I'm really humble.
Jer dolazi Bog i kaže, znaš, ja sam vrlo ponizan.
In fact, my holiness is so attractive.
Znaš, moja svetost je toliko privlačna
that sinners like being with me.
Da grešnici vole biti sa mnom.
And they're going to like being with you too.
I oni će htjeti biti s tobom.
Amen.
Wow. And all the religious folks, they accuse Jesus. Look. Even the sinners and the tax gatherers eat with him.
I religiozni duhovi kažu, gledaj, osuđuju Isusa, vidi ga, druži se s carnicima, sa grešnicima.
So God has more work to do in us.
I Bog ima puno posla u nama.
And he wants to bring us from that spiritual toddlerhood to a mature son.
I Bog nas želi dovesti iz tog malog dobništva u sinovstvo.
Because spiritual babes are carnal.
Jer su duhovne bebe su tjelesne. Joj.
Probably not. I think we're going to stop for tonight, and we can pick up tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. If you want to join us, we'll be here.
Sad ćemo se zaustaviti, sutra u 10 ćemo nastaviti, pridružiti.
Remember, Christianity, the ethos, the context of our Christian life is a relationship between a father and his sons and daughters.
Zapamtite jedno, atmosfera, kontekst kršćanstva je odnos između oca i njegovih sinova i kćeri.
And when we are spiritually born again,
I kad smo duhovno nanovo rođeni,
we become alive.
postanemo
Alive.
živi.
Your spirit becomes alive.
Naš duh oživi.
And now in that relationship, God, as our Father, He wants to nurture us.
I Bog nas želi nas hraniti.
And there is a predictable process that He takes us through towards maturity.
I postoji predvidivi proces koji će nas voditi do zrelosti.
He wants us to become dangerous.
Želi da postanemo opasni.
Dangerous to the enemy, right?
Opasni neprijatelji.
He wants us to become concerned about the world in which we live in.
Da postanemo osjetljivi i zabrinuti za svijet u kojem živimo.
And God has a service, He has a job for us to do.
I Bog ima za nas službu, posao.
There's not one of us in this room that shouldn't be occupied with something.
Nema ni jednog od nas u ovoj prostoriji koji ne treba nečim biti zaokupljen.
And there are things that God wants to do in us.
I poslije stvari koje Bog treba napraviti u nama.
And what He does in us
I što čini u nama.
makes it possible for Him to do wonderful things through us.
I onda zbog toga što učini u nama, to omogućava da onda On kroz nas radi neke stvari van.
More about that tomorrow.
Više o tome sutra.
Can we pray?
Yep.
Amen. Father, it's a delight to be able to call you our dad.
Bože, oduševljen sam što te mogu zvati ocem.
And Jesus, we want to thank you for making that possible.
I Isuse, želimo ti zahvaliti što si ti učinio da je to moguće.
You came and surrendered your own life.
Ti si došao i predao svoj život.
You showed us what sonship looks like.
Pokazao si nam što sinovstvo jest.
And then you did the most wonderful thing ever,
I onda si učinio najljepšu stvar ikada.
making it possible that you would actually live in us
Što si omogućio da ti zapravo živiš u nama.
through the power of your Spirit.
Kroz silu svog duha.
It was your desire and the desire of the Father to build your home in us.
I bila je tvoja želja i želja Oca da izgradiš sebi dom u nama.
We thank you that Christianity is not a list of do's and don'ts.
Zahvaljujete mi što kršćanstvo nije lista smiješ, ne smiješ.
We couldn't keep the list.
Mi ne bismo mogli živjeti po toj listi.
We gave up
Mi smo odustali.
and we looked to the cross.
I pogledali smo na križ.
as the only acceptable answer for our need.
Kao jedinu prihvatljiv odgovor na naše potrebe.
We couldn't justify ourselves.
Nismo se sami mogli opravdati.
We're justified through faith in Jesus Christ.
Nego smo se opravdali kroz vjeru u Isusa Krista.
And through faith,
I kroz vjeru
we become your sons and daughters.
smo postali tvoji sinovi i kćeri.
We have a relationship
Imamo odnos
with the living God.
sa živim Bogom.
And what an honor it is to be able to call you dad.
I kako je čast za nas što te možemo zvati ocem.
Lord, we ask you that you would take us from spiritual toddlerhood to spiritual maturity.
I Bože, molimo te da nas odvedeš iz duhovnog malodobništva u duhovno sinovstvo i zrelost.
We thank you that you are such a skillful father.
I zahvaljujem ti što si toliko vješt i sposoban otac.
You're very good at what you do.
Ti si odličan u tome što radiš.
And we willingly submit and yield to your nurturing.
I mi se svojom voljom podlažemo tvoj brizi za nas,
To your discipline,
tvoj disciplini,
to the purpose that you have for our life.
zbog svrhe koju imaš u našem životu.
So that the full potential of what we are and what we have
Zbog punog potencijala onog što jesmo i što imamo.
can be used and expended and seen to take down the enemy's camp.
Tako da bi se taj potencijal mogao razviti i iskoristiti u rušenju neprijateljskih utvrda.
To bring other people to you.
Da bi se drugi ljudi mogli dovesti k
And
tebi.
to see this darkness turn to light.
Da bi se tama pretvorila u svijetlo.
In the name of Jesus.
U Isusovo ime.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Steve. Evo mala samo obavijest, može? Sutra, znači, nastavljamo u 10. Počet ćemo vjerovatno točno u 10 sa slavljanjem. Ako neko od vas želi doći ranije, bit ćemo tu od 9, pa može popiti kavicu, čaj, možemo se podružiti prije. Tako da ste dobrodošli, ne morate se ni sad žuriti, možete ostati još slobodno. Neko zbog nas. Amen. Aleluja. Da je on u nas. Ovo je malo prži u ulju.
Koji?
Ovo je najgori. Viš da je Ivan je izgorila kosa. Viš da je crna kosa.
Ja sam očelavio sad. Ovo je kako. Neko to preživi, sam da nije tišina, mora biti spremno. Stavi nešto. Kako, koja? Ova je i ona žuta je ovo, a možda su sve, ne, ovo sam ja pjavio.
Hvala.
da. Mogli bi. Mogli bi, da.
Znači, daj pare.
Ne znam,
Samo da pozdravim ovog gospodina.